What's up, friends? This is Jenny, and this is our very first Hellbent yoga class online. And I'll just introduce myself really quick for those of you who don't know me. I am a yoga teacher. I've been teaching for about 4 years now. I've been in the holistic realm and doing holistic work for probably 11 years or so. And I love yoga. It's really funny. I never thought in a million years I would be a yoga teacher. I'm the last person in the world I thought would do anything like that. But when I lived in Colorado, I dove in really deep, and it was able to bring me so much comfort in my body. And I was suffering from a lot of anxiety and autoimmune stuff and all kinds of things. And it's helped me to tremendously move past those kinds of things and into a more relaxed place where I can live my life with more ease. And that's really what I want to share with you guys here. And I never really fit into the traditional yoga world. I always kind of felt like the square peg and the round hole, and I realized that that was super intentional. And for many years, I tried to cater to the traditional yoga environment and the traditional kinds of yoga students, and I just wasn't really finding my place. And then it occurred to me, as I've been learning to ride bikes for the last few months, that that's my community. The metalheads, the bikers, they always have been. I've been around bikes my entire life, and all of those kinds of people are the people who are my community, my people, my best friends, or all of those kinds of people. And what I've realized is that through this practice and through learning how to ride my own bike, how important it is to have that core strength so that we can manage our bikes, so that we can really navigate our bikes, hold our bikes up, have that core strength to do all the things that we need to do and to be able to ride longer so that we're not hurting, so that we're not compromised. I know a lot of people who can no longer do long rides and things of that nature because their body, and they're not focusing on strengthening the parts of their body that are necessary to strengthen if you want to do more of what you love. And that's really what I want to share with y'all. Yoga is for everybody. I've been a firm believer of that from the very beginning. And we're going to do it in a way that is going to be totally feasible. This is for all levels of practice. This isn't just for people who've practiced yoga before. You could have never practiced a day in your life, come into this class and get something. And ideally, we're going to be working on a lot of the parts of the body that are compromised, during our rides, or that tend to hurt, or we feel a little bit of tension and pain and things of that nature. So we're going to be focusing on a lot of those areas, but we're also going to be focusing, of course, on our overall core strength of our being, which is one of the most important things. And it's so crazy to me how yoga really does focus on all of the parts of our body that we need strengthened. And so I thought it'd be really cool if we had a yoga class that was just for us. A lot of my friends and my people in my community, we're not necessarily people who are going to be super comfortable in a traditional yoga class environment. And that's why I love these online offerings, that we can share these things with the people out there. And it's not going to feel weird or uncomfortable. You can do this in the comfort of your own home, by yourself or with your partner or whatever it is. And you're going to be able to get something that's going to give you the ability to do more of what you love. And it's just science, guys. This isn't like some foo-foo, whatever. This is just real science. This is real ways of being proactive, taking care of our body before it hurts, or if it's already hurting, knowing what areas to strengthen so that we can be better and feel better and have more ease, okay? So today we're going to be working on our shoulders, neck, and upper body. And like I said, we're going to be taking it really slow at first. We're going to really be laying a lot of the groundwork. I'm going to be talking to you guys about a lot of modifications and things that you can do to make these postures work for you. And we're just going to move slow at first, and then over time we can kick it up a little bit more, where we're building a little bit more strength. And then if you want more, I have other classes online that are more geared more towards that little bit harder, deeper practice, okay? So what we're going to do to get started, we're just going to sit in our easy seated posture, just like so, cross-legged, comfortable cross-legged posture. If you can't cross your legs, you can always stick your legs directly out in front of you. That's totally cool too. So I will say that if you have a block, if you've ever practiced yoga and you have a block, then this could be something that you could continue to utilize in your practice. If not, You might want to get you a block. They're super cheap, and you can find them at like Ross, TJ Maxx, Target, Walmart, wherever. They're literally everywhere these days, and they're really inexpensive, but just this one little prop is going to make a big difference, and I can show you guys how we're going to use it later. Other important, super important comment that I need to make for you guys before we get started is to be safe in your body. You know your body better than anybody else. You know your limitations. You know where the pain is. We're never, ever, ever pressing into pain, tingling, or numbness, okay? We don't want to just leave a posture because we feel the urge to leave. That's like where we need to really strengthen our mind to recognize that we can handle more than we think we can, as long as we're not pressing into that pain or tingling or numbness. And since I'm not with you guys, I can't see your postures. You have to be really aware of that for yourself. What is safe? What is not safe? Aware of when I'm starting to press into that place that is not good for me, right? And then to ease out of it. This isn't a competition. We're not trying to do better than anybody else. The postures don't have to look perfect. We're not trying to take Instagram pictures here. We're just trying to stretch our body. So it's okay if it doesn't look exactly the way it does when I'm doing it. A lot of the way that I do postures doesn't look the way that some of these like really beautiful yoga teachers teach that do these postures either, because my body is my body and it has certain limitations. Even within the way that it can bend and flex, the way that my joints are made, these are not things that are like my fault. It's just the way my body's created. And there's just certain things that I can and can't do. That's totally cool. There's no pressure. So if you can't do a posture, don't force it. You can even just sit in an easy seated position, just like I'm doing right now, and visualize yourself in the posture, or just take a few deep breaths and relax until we move into the next posture that is potentially more feasible for you, okay? So no pressure. Don't do that to yourself. If you fall out of posture, it's totally okay. I do it all the time. You're gonna find that. It's just we come back in. It's not about how many times we get knocked down, right? It's how many times we get back up. We're just coming back in. We're trying it again. We're being playful with our bodies. We're just seeing what we're capable of doing and what we're not, and that's totally fine. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're already in our easy seated posture. We're gonna drop our shoulders back and down so that we have a super nice, long, straight spine. And we're really just gonna start by finding our breath. So close your eyes. Take your attention back inside of your body, away from all of the grocery lists or the ride that you're going to take later, the things that you want to do tomorrow. And take your attention back inside of yourself. And when you breathe, we want to take that breath past the upper part of the lung and draw it all the way down into the belly, so that on the inhalation, that belly is rising up away from the body. And on the exhale, we're taking that belly button towards the spine, really expelling all of that stagnant oxygen that might be resting in the base of the lungs. We want to really fill up those lungs with new air, new prana, which is that life force energy. All right, now we're just centering and grounding ourselves. Just committing to ourselves, this is the time that I'm creating for myself to invest back into my own body, back into my own being, so that I can continue to do more of what I love, longer, to the degree that I want to do it, so that I can feel good in my body, so I can feel strong, and have the mobility that I want as long as I possibly can. Then super slow and gentle, whenever you're ready, you're going to open up those eyes, allow them to flutter open. We're going to start with our very first posture. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our hands and we're gonna interlock those fingers over each other, and you can cross whatever thumb over the other that feels good to you. You're gonna take those knuckles just underneath your jaw. You're gonna draw your elbows to touch if you can. Now, only doing this posture if your neck is safe and you're not compromised there, you've never had surgery, you've never had any kind of major disc issues in that area that would prevent you from experiencing this posture. You know, this is definitely one of those times where you want to be safe. We always want to be super careful with the neck. But if you haven't, placing those knuckles underneath the chin, elbows are to touch. The spine is still super straight and long, so you want to make sure that your chest is hovering over the belly, belly's hovering over the sits bones, or those hips. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. And then on your inhalation, you're going to breathe in deep. And then exhale, you're going to drop the crown of the head towards the back wall. And you're going to lift those elbows up ever so slightly. And you're going to hold that posture and just breathe into it for a moment. Never turning the neck side to side. You just want to keep that gaze directly up. Inhale deeply. And then exhale, we're going to drop those elbows down towards the belly. You're going to release the fists down towards the legs. And you can take that chin to the chest. Just allow that head to hang forward. Again, we're just allowing it to hang, no pressure. Never pressing into pain or tingling or numbness. Or turning your head from side to side. You're going to keep the gaze directly down. And continuing to breathe into the body. Super, super slow and gentle. One of the main things is not to move too fast. You don't want to whip your head down, whip it up. You want to move super slow. Super slow and gentle. Draw the gaze back up towards its neutral position. We're going to inhale and we're going to open up our arms wide, reaching those fingers towards opposite walls. You're going to draw your left arm across the body towards the right arm. And then you're going to take the right arm underneath. And you're going to rest the forearm of your left arm in the crook of your right. And then you can allow that left arm to just hang, to relax. Never, ever, ever putting pressure on the joints. You never want to put that crooked arm over the joint of your elbow or your wrist. You always want to make sure it's somewhere along that forearm. Inhale deeply. And then you can just slowly and gently on the exhale, twist to the side a little bit, opening up through the shoulder blade of your left arm. And just breathing into that posture for a moment. Inhale, you're going to open up those arms, reaching those fingertips towards the walls. Exhale, this time you're going to take the right arm across towards the left. Left arm comes underneath. Allow that right arm to hang. You can release those fingers, just totally relaxed through that right arm. And then inhale, twist a little bit, draw that left arm back and open up through the shoulder blade. Never pull any farther than feels good and comfortable and safe, just until you feel that nice stretch. And then pause and breathe into that space. What do I mean when I say breathe into that space? That can sound kind of silly. You literally want to push your breath visually in your mind's eye towards those spaces where you're experiencing any tension, any pain, so that we can open up new space and release whatever stagnant energy is existing in that area. Inhale, open up through those arms, reaching those fingertips towards the opposite wall. I'm going to turn around so you guys can see what I'm doing here. You're going to reach those fingertips into the sky on your next inhalation. You're going to bend through your left elbow, taking the right hand to the outside of that arm. And the palm of the hand is going to fall towards the center of the shoulder blades. And just hold that. You can pull a little bit with that right hand, drawing that left elbow in towards the head, the center line of the body. And you're going to feel that stretch all the way from the elbow down the arm towards the side body. On your next exhalation, if it feels safe, you can take a gentle twist towards the left side. If not, just continue to hold that neutral posture with the gaze forward. So just listening to your body here. Gently untwisting the spine, taking the gaze forward once again. This time we're going to hinge to the left side, or the right side, excuse me. And continue to gently pull with that right hand. Now we're opening up completely through the side of the body as well. Taking that stretch a little bit deeper. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, fully completely. Inhale, reach both fingertips back into the sky. Exhale, bending the right arm this time. Take the hand towards the center of the spine between those shoulder blades. Left hand is going to come to the outside of that right forearm. Never, ever, ever putting pressure on the joint. And just breathe into that posture for a moment. If it feels safe, take that gentle twist towards the left side. Untwisting the spine, taking the gaze back to the front of the room. This time hinging towards the left side. Feeling that deep stretch in the side body. Taking those deep breaths. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, release the breath. Inhale, reaching up through those fingertips, drawing those arms into the sky. Exhaling, super, super, super slow. We're going to release those fingertips down into the earth. We're going to take a gentle twist here now. So we're going to twist towards the right side, taking your right hand behind your right glute. Your left hand is going to come to the outside of your right thigh, just underneath the knee. Taking that gentle twist, you can draw your gaze over the right shoulder if it feels safe on the neck. And just breathing into that posture. Super slow and gentle, releasing those hands, twisting back towards your neutral position. We're going to take it to the opposite side. Left hand comes behind left glute. Right hand comes to the outside of the left thigh, gazing over the left shoulder if it feels safe on the neck. Super slow and gentle, untwisting through the spine, drawing the gaze back towards the front of the room. We're going to come up on our knees now into a pose called rock pose, what we call it in Kundalini yoga. So coming up on the knees, you're going to drop your glutes down towards your heels and rest gently on those. Now, if that doesn't feel good, you can even take like a rolled up blanket or towel or something, place it between those knees, and then drop the glutes down towards the heels if that feels better. If you cannot manage this posture at all right now, that's totally cool. It's not a big deal. Come into your easy seated posture, or find something slightly elevated that you can sit on, like a block, okay? In this rock pose posture, we're going to super gentle drop our left fingertips into the earth. We're going to reach up through our right arm. Take the fingertips just to the outside of just behind that ear on the left side of your head. And then with a lot of gentle grace and ease, we're going to drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. Keeping those fingertips grounded into the earth, and you're just applying gentle pressure through that right hand. You're not forcing it or pressing it, just a little bit of gentle support and pressure there. Feeling, you're going to really feel that big stretch down the neck into your shoulder, which gets really super tired and stressed out on a lot of bikers. But we need that mobility of our neck. We need to be able to turn our head to see beyond our peripheral. We need to be able to turn and look and see what's coming at us all the time, totally aware of what's around us. Release that right hand away from the head, taking those fingertips back down into the earth, and then really slow and gentle, lifting the head back up to its neutral position. And like I said, that's the key, is the movement is really super slow. It's when we snap the head back and forth that we tend to create those tensions, or it gets those catches in our neck that creates that pain. So we don't ever want to do that. So now we're going to keep the right fingertips grounded into the earth. Left arm comes up this time. Take that hand just behind the right ear. Super gentle and slow. Dropping the left ear towards the left shoulder. Just supportive and gentle pressure through the left hand, but never pressing past that place of comfort and safety. Like, be safe with your body. Mild discomfort is totally different than pain, so you have to really be aware of the difference here. Never press yourself past that line or over the edge. Releasing the right hand away from the head, take those fingertips back down into the earth, and inhale super slow and gentle. Take that head back up towards its neutral position. Remaining in that rock pose. This time we're going to take the hands behind the back. You're going to take your right hand and wrap it around the forearm of your left arm, never on the wrist, just over it. And then you're going to pull gently with that right hand, drawing it down. You're going to feel that in both shoulders likely. This is really good if you have to spend a lot of time at a desk, working all day long, typing, sitting at a computer. We really need to take care of our bodies when we have to sit in those prolonged postures for a long time and do those repetitive motions that don't allow for a lot of movement and mobility in the body. Release on your next exhalation, taking the left hand, wrapping it around the forearm of the right arm, and draw it down. Exhale, release. I want you to come back down into that easy seated posture now. And we're going to take some gentle neck rotations. So we're going to inhale deeply. Exhale, drop the chin towards the chest, allowing the crown of the head to fall forward. And we're going to take those gentle neck rotations. Right ear comes to right shoulder, crown drops to the back of the head, left ear to left shoulder, chin to the chest. Super, super, super slow and gentle. Pausing and breathing into any of those areas of tension, discomfort. And so many of these are things that you can do while you're standing too. You're stopping to get gas, you're stopping to look at something awesome. Take some gentle neck circles or do some of these gentle exercises and take some of these stretches to relieve some of that tension so that you can ride longer and feel better while you're doing it. If you feel any areas that are super tense or painful, just pause and breathe into them. Stop rotating the head, pause and breathe into that area. And just invite it to open up, to relax. Next time you find your chin to your chest, we're going to take the rotation in the opposite direction. We're going to do a lot of seated today, since we're working on stretching out this upper body. Inhale, take the gaze back towards the front of the room. We're going to come into what's called Sufi grind now. Sufi grind means that we're going to hinge forward from the hips. I'm going to show you guys first, and then you can join me. We're going to hinge forward from those hips, keeping those hands gently resting on the knees. We're not going to hinge all the way forward so that the crown of the head is parallel to the front of the room. Yeah, I can't talk. We're going to inhale, and we're just going to be we're going to hinge forward so that the crown of the head is still in alignment with the sky, right? And then we're going to shift our weight to the left side, draw it towards the back of the room, right side, or vice versa. And you're going to continue to rotate the entirety of your upper body around the base of your spine, around your sits bones, which are still grounded into the earth. You're going to still feel both of those sits bones grounded into the mat. So we're not going to be lifting one hip away and then lifting the other hip over the way. You want to keep those hip bones rounded into the mat, okay? So we're going to do this together. Inhale deeply. Exhale, hinging forward from the hips, and then start to take that rotation in whatever direction feels best to you. And we're going to match our breath with our movement here. That's a really powerful part of our practice, is matching our breath with our movement. It allows us to get the most out of the movement, energetically speaking. So we're going to inhale from the front to the back, and exhale from the back to the front. And this movement can become really meditative. It can really draw you back inside. It feels really good. You say it energetically unwinds life's problems. So drawing the trouble or the negativity out of our life experiences can be really cool. Next time you find yourself towards the front of that rotation, we're going to draw it in the opposite direction. So whatever direction you were going before, we're going to take it the opposite. But still matching the breath with the movement. Inhaling from the front to the back. Exhaling from the back to the front. Inhale, we're going to come upright, back into that easy seated neutral posture. This time we're going to turn our head and gaze over the right shoulder on the inhalation, and then exhale, turn and gaze over the left shoulder. Inhaling over the right, exhaling over the left. Take it really slow if you need to here, remembering to be super safe with your neck, okay? There's going to be times when you're on your bike and you got to turn your head on a swivel. And you want to make sure that that neck is loose and open so that you're not creating some horrible cramp in your neck later or hurting yourself or unable to get the full gaze. Like you're not able to take your gaze over your left shoulder or your right shoulder and see what's happening around you. It's the last thing we want. We always want to be able to see what's happening around us. So this is really important stuff. This upper spine, neck, and shoulders stretches. You can even close your eyes and just fully feel into the stretch. Inhale, we're going to come back to center. We're going to take some gentle shoulder rotations here. And this is something that most of us have probably done. Sitting at your desk, you've been there too long, your shoulders get tired. We're going to inhale, draw them up along the back side towards the ears. Exhale, take them down towards the front. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, back or front and down. Excuse me, I can't speak. And just continue on, rotating those shoulders. Taking that circular motion forward and up. And we're always matching our breath with our movement. So we're going to inhale up and exhale down. And I've worked with so many people about prolonged posture issues, dentists and men and women and all kinds of things. And these are the things that I have literally seen change people's lives. Like open up their bodies, give them totally new availability to do things that they were not able to do before, that they thought they could never do again. This is the stuff, man, that is really going to change your life and give you the ability to do what you want to do, to have your mobility as you age. To be able to stand on your own 2 feet when you're putting a pair of pants on and do normal everyday things. We're not looking to do all the fancy ass headstands in the front of the room and whatever crazy balancing postures. If you want to do that, that's cool, go for it. But this is lifestyle yoga that we're teaching here. It just gives us the ability to do what we want to do. So the next time you come to the base of that rotation, we're going to take it the opposite direction. This time we're going to come inhaling up towards the front side. Exhaling down towards the back side. Inhale forward and up. Exhale back and down, continuing on, rotating through those shoulders. And the cool thing about the spine is that it doesn't have its own pump. And maybe it's not cool, but it's just a fact, right? It doesn't have its own spine, so it needs the motion, the mobility, the action to pump the cerebrospinal fluid into all the nooks and crannies of the spine. And these kinds of motions, these kinds of postures that we're taking, move that cerebrospinal fluid into all of those nooks and crannies of the spine. It nourishes the spine. It gives us the ability to function better at a higher rate of movement with ease. And this is something that we can all do. Drop those shoulders back down into their neutral position. We're going to come up on our hands and knees now. And this is our cat-cow stretch. So we're going to come up on our hands and knees. Tabletop position here. You want to make sure that your shoulders are stacked on top of your wrists. Hips are stacked on top of the knees. So go ahead and take yourself into posture. Make sure that the posture is aligned. You want that body to be aligned when you're going through these motions, because that's what's going to keep your body safe, and it's going to be the most effective posture for the movement, okay? So the spine is super straight from the tip of the tailbone to the crown of the head. Crown of the head is shining forward towards the front of the room, and the gaze is between those hands. Now you can just start by shifting those hips side to side here and just waking up that lower spine a little bit. Then we're going to come back into that neutral tabletop position. We're going to lift our tailbone, and naturally you're going to find that your belly drops down towards the earth. And then we're going to lift our gaze so that the crown of the head is shining upwards towards the sky now. And that's on your inhalation. You're coming into that cow posture. And you're going to hold that posture for a moment. We're just going to breathe into it. You're going to kind of tent those hands so the palm is lifted. The middle of the palm is lifted away from the mat. You're going to find that most of the pressure is in the base of the palm and that part of the palm that's underneath your pinky finger and underneath the first finger, pointer finger, and then of course the tips of the fingers. We're going to take that tailbone and we're going to pull it in, rounding through the spine, taking your chin to your chest. For your cat posture, hold that posture and breathe. Inhale, coming into your cow. Exhale for your cat. Continuing on, starting that movement at the tailbone, taking it up the spine and then towards the head, allow the head to follow. And then you can move a little bit faster if you want to here. But you can move as fast or as slow as you want to. And the faster you move the spine in this posture, the more you're going to warm it up and prevent yourself from experiencing any injuries in any of your other postures later. So this is really warming up the body, warming up the spine, giving us that availability to go a little bit deeper later without pain, without cramps. Come back to center. This time, we're going to shift our hips towards the left side, and we're going to take our gaze over our right shoulder towards our heels. Exhale, take it back to center. Inhale, we're going to gaze over the left shoulder, this time pressing the right hip out. Exhale to center. Inhale, gazing over the right shoulder. Exhale back to center. Inhale, gazing over the left shoulder. Exhaling back to center, continuing on at your own pace. Come back to center. You're going to curl your toes under here, pressing the hips into the sky for your downward facing dog posture. You're going to press your belly towards the thighs. Gaze is at the shin bones. Crown of the head hangs towards the earth. You can release the heels super slow down towards the mat. If that's in your practice, if it feels okay. And then inhaling and gazing towards the top of the mat. You can step or float towards your hands. We're going to hang in our forward fold here. So your feet are about hips width distance apart. Gentle bend in those knees. Hands are gently resting in the mat. So just taking those fingertips and gently resting. Now, if you can't reach the mat, that's where the block comes in handy. You can take that block in front of you and you can gently rest your hands on your block if you want to. Or you can even take your pinkies and tuck them into opposite elbows. But most importantly, releasing the weight of the crown of the head to the earth. So you don't want to be holding it up in any way at all. You want to allow it to totally hang, opening up all of those cerebral, or all of those vertebrae. All of that spinal column, you want to release all of that tension, all of that pressure. Our head is actually really heavy, and the neck has to support that head all day long. So when we allow that head to hang forward like this, we're opening up all those vertebrae, releasing that pressure on those discs, releasing the pressure on the spine, the bones, all of those things are just opening up, creating space. Inhale deeply. Exhale, release those hands down if you had them up. And then super, super, super slow and gentle. We're going to roll up vertebra by vertebra, taking the arms overhead. Reaching the fingertips into the sky. You want those fingertips spread nice and wide. Long center line of the body. We're going to exhale and drop our elbows down, pressing the heart space forward, squeezing the shoulder blades together for our cactus posture. We're going to inhale, reach those fingertips back into the sky. And exhale, we're going to hinge forward from those hips, dropping those fingertips back down into the earth. You're going to take those hands together, pressing the palms together in a prayer pose. And then you're going to inhale, rise up into a half lift. Gentle bend in the knees. Crown of the head shining towards the front of the room. You can take those hands and gently rest them on the front of the shin bones if that feels more comfortable and safe. Exhale. Release those hands back down into the earth. They're onto your block. And then inhale, super slow and gentle, rolling up through the spine, vertebra by vertebra. Don't rush it. Take those arms overhead. Exhale, cactus out the arms. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Press the heart space forward. Inhale, draw the arms back into the sky. We're going to take it a little more fluid. Exhale, we're going to swan dive forward, hinging forward from those hips. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. One more time. Inhale, rolling up. Super slow. Gaze is the last thing to come up. Exhale, drop it down into that cactus posture. Inhale, lifting the fingertips into the sky. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, take those fingertips back down into the mat, roll it up. And then exhale, take those hands into prayer posture, pressing the palms together. We're going to drop our thumbs into heart center. It's called Tadasana. Collecting our energy, grounding through all four corners of both feet. You can also come into your mountain pose, dropping those hands, taking the palms forward as those arms gently frame the body. Closing the eyes. Breathing into the body, dropping those shoulders back and down. We're going to come into our tree pose. These balancing postures are actually super, super important. They're part of what really helps to strengthen our core, gives us the ability to have balance in our body. That core strength is what gives us the ability to stand in these balancing postures. And this is how we partially strengthen that part of our core being. So we're going to ground through both corners of both of our feet. And then you're going to choose which leg you want to balance on first. I'm feeling like I'm going to ground through my left leg, which is, I know it's opposite for you guys on the screen. Grounding through my left leg. And I'm going to take my thumbs into heart center, but again, like I said, you can come into that mountain pose as well. So just listen to your body. Gentle bend in those knees. And then we're going to kickstand out the leg that you're going to choose to draw up, okay? Now this could be your fullest expression of tree right here, and that's totally cool. There's no pressure to go any deeper than this. That heel is never resting on the joint of the ankle, always over it. Like we said, we're never, ever, ever going to put pressure on our joints. But if you want to take this posture even a little bit deeper, you can slide that foot up towards the inner calf of your leg. You really want to ensure, though, that that knee is pointed directly to the side wall and you're open up through these hips. You're going to feel it open up on that hip of the leg that's elevated. You're going to feel it come a little bit deeper, okay? You can take it even deeper. If that's in your practice and that's something that feels safe and comfortable to you, you can even take the sole of your foot and press it into the interior of your thigh. Or you can come into half lotus, which is not in my practice, where you bend your knee, take that foot up into the hip crease. It's up to you. So just take that deepest expression of your tree pose that feels good and safe to you. And today may just be about you playing with the posture and figuring all that out, right? Later on, we're going to grow our branches of our tree and reach our hands up into the sky. But for now, we're just going to start with the basics of the tree posture, okay? We're going to take it to the other side. So you're going to take that knee forward. Exhale, release the sole of the foot into the earth and pedal out those feet. You might feel a little bit of tension in your legs. That's totally normal. So we're just going to kick it out, pedal those legs before we take it to the opposite side. So now you're going to ground through the opposite leg, really feeling the four corners of both of your feet. Where are your four corners of your feet? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Just under the toes on each corner, back of the heel, each corner. That's what I'm talking about. So we're grounding through those parts of our feet. You can even visualize roots coming out from your feet, anchoring you into the earth, anchoring you into that mat. That kind of visualization is actually super helpful in keeping you grounded, okay? So take those hands into heart center. Come into the fullest expression of your tree, and whatever that looks like, but it needs to reflect, it must reflect the same version of the posture that you took on the opposite side. So you want to be sure to balance out both sides of the body. And this is where you can also take what's called a drusty gaze. Finding one point of still focus on the wall in front of you and focusing your attention completely on that spot. That's like another point of attachment from your body to the earth. You may find that it's way easier on one side than the other, and that's totally normal too. Like this side, I'm feeling a little bit more challenged today, and if you've been sick or had any kind of inner ear stuff or anything, you're probably totally going to feel that too. Take the knee forward, release the foot into the earth, pedal it out. And it doesn't matter where you're at on each side. It doesn't matter what you did yesterday versus today. We're just meeting ourselves exactly where we're at on our mat right now in this second, and nothing more, okay? Inhale, arms are going to come overhead. Exhale, cactus out the arms. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, press the heart space forward. Inhale, reach the fingertips into the sky. Exhale, swan diving forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, we're going to drop our fingertips into the earth, bend the knees, and drop down onto the glutes. Take those legs out in front of you. We're going to take our hands and gently rest them at the top of the hip crease. Inhale and lengthen through the spine, drop the shoulders back and down. And then on your exhalation, you're going to drop your fingertips down your legs, gently glide them down towards the eagles and feet. If you need to stop somewhere here on the shin bones, that's the deepest stretch today, that's totally fine. Just pause and breathe into that space. But if you can take the hands down, wrap the fingers around the bottom of the feet. Keep the spine straight and long. Crown of the head is still parallel to the sky. We're not going to hinge forward and drop our nose to our knees. And just breathe into the body. Every time you do this stretch, you can take it a little bit deeper. It's just opening up those muscles, releasing that tension on those tendons, stretching those places out, allowing for more movement, more mobility. You don't have to be super flexible or bendy. We're just stretching the body, okay? Inhale, rise up. You're going to take the palms of the hands back up towards the hip crease. And we're going to bend our knees now. So bend your knees. Soles of the feet are gently resting into the earth. You're going to frame your legs with both of your arms. Palms of the hands are facing towards each other and the fingertips are pointing forward. And then really slow with grace and ease. It's one of those small things that can really, really transform our core and strengthen our core. We're going to release the spine down into the mat, vertebra by vertebra. As slow as you can. Take the back of the body down into the mat. I'm going to scooch down because I'm crawling up to the top of the mat. Arms are going to gently rest at the side of the body. You're going to inhale and you're going to take your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. And then holding on to just the right leg, you're going to clasp your hands, wrap it around the front of the right shin bone, keeping that knee into the chest. You're going to inhale and lengthen up through your left leg. Exhale. Really, really, really slow and gentle. Take that leg down into the mat. You're going to reach out through your right arm so that that hand is in alignment with the shoulder, straight line out to the side of the body. You're going to take your left hand to the outside of your right leg, and with a lot of grace and ease, really slow, pull it across the body. So you're going to keep that left hip grounded into the earth. Both shoulders are resting into the mat. You don't want to lift this right shoulder away. Keep it grounded into the earth as you pull that leg across the body.
And if it's in your practice, you can turn your head and gaze over your right fingertips. Only if it feels safe on the neck and you're not compromising that space in any way. You can even close your eyes and just breathe. And then untwisting the spine. Take the knees back into the chest so that we can take it to the opposite side. This time we're going to clasp our hands, wrap it around the left shin bone, pull that leg in. Inhale up through the right leg, lengthen through that leg, and then exhale super, super slow, taking it down into the mat. Reaching out through your left arm this time. I can't lengthen it straight out because there's a wall, but you guys stick it straight out if you can. Right hand comes to the outside of the left leg and pulls it across. Keeping both shoulders grounded into the mat, taking a gaze over the left fingertips, if it feels safe. Really slow and gentle, untwisting the spine. Take the knees back into the chest. We're going to come into our happy baby posture now. So you're going to take the soles of the feet flat to the sky and take your hands to the outside edges of those feet, wrapping the fingers around the soles of the feet, which draws the knees in towards the armpits. And you can take some gentle movement, rocking side to side, or back and forth, or you can just remain in stillness and feel into that hip stretch, which is really going to be good for you guys when you're sitting on your bike. Keep those hips from getting tired or popping out of socket. Like, this is going to be a really good one just to loosen up those tendons and open up those hips. Couple more deep breaths. And then on your next exhalation, super slow and gentle, release those feet. You're going to stretch those legs out long in front of you. Draw the shoulders down away from the ears. Arms come to the side of the body. Palms can be face up to receive, face down to ground. Close your eyes and breathe into your body. This is your final Shavasana, your corpse pose posture. Come back to the body, come back to yourself. Just breathe in and just experience any of the movement of energy that might be necessary for you to fully achieve what you needed to for your practice today. Taking those deep breaths. Just breathing into the silence, feeling the body sinking into the earth, totally relaxing into this final posture. If you're not used to relaxing and just pausing and breathing into your body, this can feel really weird at first.
You might be looking around like, when is this going to be over? But resist the urge to leave this relaxing posture and give yourself that moment to reconnect and to breathe. Relax the body. We ride to fly, to feel, to touch, to breathe, to live. Start coming back to your breath, back to your body, the awareness of the physical sensation of your body in the earth. You can start moving your fingers and toes, just wiggling them a little bit. If you want to, you can wrap your hands in a circular motion around your wrists or your feet, around your ankles. Take some stretches if you need to. Full body stretches, reaching those arms overhead, pointing the toes. And then take your knees into your chest. And you're going to rock and roll on your spine, just like so. A few times, and you want to do this a few times because that's how we really move that cerebrospinal fluid. And then on your third or fourth rock, you're going to take yourself upward into a comfortable seated position. But we're going to finish our practice today, so we're going to complete it. Dropping those shoulders back and down. Take those hands into prayer pose. Thumbs come into the breastbone. Close your eyes. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Exhale. Drop your chin to your chest. The crown of the head comes forward. Namaste. A namaste means I see you. That's how we're going to finish our practices. Satnam, namaste. Satnam means I am truth. Truth is my name. I am who I am. Namaste means I honor the truth in you. I honor you exactly the way you are without the desire to change you. So I hope you guys enjoyed that practice. Today was specifically for those shoulders and upper body. And it's really, it's that thing like we only regret the rides we didn't take. What prevents us from taking the rides? Sometimes it's because we're distracted. Sometimes it's because we don't make time. But a lot of the times too is because we're in pain, we're hurting. The body doesn't feel like it's up to it. And that's what we want to just eradicate. We want to get rid of that problem because there's no good reason to miss out on those rides, and especially when it's the stuff that we can fix ourselves. And one of my friends, he's awesome. I was asking him about some of his biggest pains in his body and if he thought the yoga would be good for him as being a rider and all of these things. He's like, of course. He's like, it's science. Science. It is science. It's the science of movement, the science of stretching the body, giving you more availability to do more. It's just that simple. And we don't want to miss those rides. You don't want to have those regrets of not taking care of your body, not being proactive, and doing the things that you know you can do to make your body better so that you can do more of what you love. So thanks for joining me today. I appreciate you guys so much. If you ever have questions, please reach out to me. There's places for comments on the Patreon account. You can always message me, ask me anything you need to know at all, and I will be happy to help you. And I will look forward to seeing you guys next time. Thanks.